Ever thought about the impact that music has on wars or the history of wartime music? If not, then this video might interest you because we're going to take a tour of some of the best music of morale that has characterized Israel in conflict for the past 100 years. In case you didn't know, Israel has fought 8 wars in its short 75 years as a modern nation state. And for all those who are curious, Israel started 0 of them and has won all of them. You should check it out. So during these wars, there have been some songs that have really stood out. And sometimes there's a clear winner. At other times, there's some room for debate. After all, to quote my Jewish tour guide, there are different views for different Jews. You know, it's kind of like that expression, wherever you find 2 Jews, you're going to find 3 opinions. So I'm not suggesting that I have verified or historically agreed upon list of most popular songs during Jewish wars. I'm just going to give you my personal take from what I've read and heard. So feel free to call me out in the comments if you want to disagree. So part 1. There is one song that has been popular in all of the Jewish wars. In fact, it was popular before Israel was even a nation. Of course, I'm talking about Hatikva, the Romanian written song which later became the national anthem of Israel. A brief translation of the chorus says roughly, "Our hope will not be lost, the hope of 2,000 years, to be a free people in our homeland, the land of Zion and Jerusalem." This song is in a category all of its own, and videos can be found of Hebrew children singing it as far back as the 1930s. That's right, almost 100 years ago. Holocaust survivors who were videoed singing it as they sailed into Israel. And the modern Israel Defense Forces vowing to protect Israelis and Jews worldwide. It is a touching song that has echoed throughout every armed conflict that Israel has had to face in modern times. And that leads us to part 2. Popular songs during particular wars. And I'm not going to mention the 1948 War for Independence, the 1956 Suez Crisis, the First and Second Lebanon Wars of 1982 and 2006, and so on. But I have picked 3 conflicts to discuss with you. That is the 6-Day War, in which the City of Gold, or Jerusalem of Gold, became popular, the 1973 Yom Kippur War, and the current Israel-Hamas War. The 6-Day War is easy. It's widely agreed upon that the song that defined this war is Jerusalem of Gold. Sometimes it's called City of Gold. And there's really not even a debate here. The song, composed in 1967 for an Israeli song festival, just weeks after its debut in the thick of the 6-Day War against Egypt, Syria, and Jordan.
In the morning, the Israeli Air Force lends much-needed air support. The Israeli High Command fears that any further delay in the battle for Jerusalem will result in Arab reinforcements for the beleaguered city and an ultimate battlefield standoff. The order is given to take the holy city now, today, at any cost. It is to be this year in Jerusalem.
Jerusalem was captured by Israeli forces, and this song became iconic. It soared among the Israeli population. It could be heard being sung by soldiers driving off to war. It was so common back in the time, and many didn't like it because they said it sounded too sad for a war in which Israel crushed all of her enemies, but the song stuck. And the IDF has even done a beautiful rendition of it this year.
ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור, הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור.
The song describes the mountain air, the trees, the walls of stone, all the beautiful characteristics of Jerusalem in poetic admiration, reflecting on the city's divided history, its religious significance, and its bronze or golden hue. Next, Israel faced the Yom Kippur War, in which they were invaded on their holy holiday. The Yom Kippur War is not quite as cut and dry when it comes to the song of choice. Some will point to various tunes, but I think the majority remember Lu Yihai, or Let It Be, as the song that embodied this war. It was written and composed during the Yom Kippur War, and it's now considered a symbol of that time in Israel. The song imagines a number of scenarios and then responds in Hebrew with Let It Be, in a prayer-like fashion. Here's a sampling. It was performed for the soldiers all around the battle, expressing the pain of the war and giving hope to the armed forces. Before we get to the current conflict, please know that there have been other songs written to commemorate fallen Israeli soldiers in honor of Remembrance Day and to remember countless loved ones from Israel. But now, what I've been waiting to share with you involves this current conflict. See, looking back on the past and studying history is great, and it's amazing to look back with 2020 vision and see everything that unfolded and the things that rose to popularity during that time. But what is even better is understanding what is going on in real time. That's why I want to tell you about these two songs that are becoming synonymous, that are becoming part of the fabric, woven together, the identity of this current Israel-Hamas war, which will probably turn into the Israeli, Hamas, Lebanon, Yemen, Iran war, but that's a topic for another video. So first, there's a new single called Am Yisrael Chai by Egal Golan, which you've probably heard. It needs no introduction. In fact, I mentioned it in my video on the phrase Am Yisrael Chai, so you can go check out that video if you want a little more background on it. This song has been on repeat in Israel since its release. And there is a video of it being played, being blared from a car when hostages were being rescued from Gaza recently. This is one of two songs that have become identified with this current war that Israel is in against Hamas. Now, the other song has a crazy story. Believe it or not, a guy named Yagel Oshri wrote a song 2 months before October 7th called Latzet Medikayon, which is translated loosely as Get Out of Depression. And in this song, he says, even in the dark hours of the night, there will always be a little star to light your way. The chorus says, face the fears, jump into deep waters, swim to the end. And then it goes to the end where it says, "More good days will come. I promise more good days will come." This track has been on so many videos. It's made it into so many playlists, and it's crazy because it identifies with the exact feeling that most Israelis can relate to following the October 7th massacre. It applies so well to what the Jews are going through, and it was written right before it all happened. So many people needed this. It's become ingrained as a permanent fixture in Israeli society, and it's going to be remembered as the song of the Israel-Hamas war. And in a recent video, the IDF made their own recording. These two songs, and really all of the different songs, represent the complex and contradicting emotions that we all face when we're going through times of war. During these hardships, where grief is mixed with morale, sorrow is mingled with strength and determination to never let history repeat itself again. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk through some of the historic songs of Israel's past, and let me know which song do you think will become the official song of this current war.
תמיד יהיה כוכב קטן שיעיר לך את עצמך, את הדרך הביתה, תמיד זה הכי חשוך לפני הזריחה. מיליון רכבות דוהרות עד אוסטרליה, מחפש רחוק את מה שנמצא לך מתחת לאף, כל מכשול זה מדליה, קם ונופל אבל בדרך שלך